Welcome back to Modern Motors. Today we'll be installing some ditch lights. Let's get started. Spotlights, ditch lights, side lights, pod lights, light bars, whatever. All of it pretty much operates exactly the same. The main goal of all of this lighting solution is to project more light down the road, giving yourself a better view of your environment, keeping yourself safe, giving yourself plenty of reaction time when you're going at night off-roading. To install them, you'll need a few basic items. One, you'll need to find a power source. Typically, most of these kits come with a wire that hooks up to the battery. Two, you'll need a way to switch them on and off. For our application, we'll be using a standard rocker switch. And number three, you'll need to find a way to mount the light itself to your car. A couple options are light bars, roof racks, whatever. Today, we're gonna keep it really simple for our setup, given that this is gonna be a budget build, is gonna be some Nilight ditch light. So they're more of like a fog light. They're a really dispersed light, more to illuminate the side of the road, to give yourselves a wider view angle. The mounting system we're going to be using are these little clips. So they're pretty simple. It's a squeezing method onto the hood itself, and then our light mounts onto that. On the back, you've got some quick disconnect connectors tying into a harness. The harness I already have installed, so this isn't really a how-to, it's really how I did it. I bought the harness kit with it, so essentially I bought the whole package. 2 night light fog lights, the wiring harness which comes with a rocker switch, and these brackets. That's it. All of these items comes at a really good price. These little clamping bracket things are about $6 a pop, so 12 bucks for the set. The 2 lights plus the wiring harness total cost me 30 bucks. Can you believe it? I just can't believe it. I gotta show you guys. Look at that. $30. 2 lights and the wiring harness. So all in all, $42. I've got myself two ditch lights and the wiring harness. So I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse it getting mounted on there, and then I'll show you how I ran the wires, and in my opinion, the cleanest way to install this type of setup in your Subaru. Let's get started. I clipped on 2 wires and I screwed in 5 set screws. I know that was super fast in time lapse. Let me show you how to do it in standard time. So let me get you guys over to this side. So the way these work, it's pretty straightforward. You've got a plate here that's squeezed onto by a set of set screws. So when you give the plate space, you get it on there, you just make sure it's pushed up against the back wall and you tighten. That's it. There's 5 of these little set screws. You just want to get them snug, get them all snug. And then you walk through and you bring them to about equal torque. Don't over tighten them. It's really easy to over tighten it and you can crack your paint. So just get them snug. It's pretty secure. You don't need much. I'm barely twisting these, and it's plenty. It really is. Give it a good shake. Yep, that's on there. And as far as the wires, it's just red to red and black to black. Nothing else more to it. Here's the wiring harness, and here is that plate. Let me walk you through. The wiring harness goes through that back wall, through here, onto this pod plate. As far as the power, I'm just hot wired to the battery. Your Subaru has a nice little positive terminal that you can use right here, and then the negative there. So that harness, this power, light 1, light 2, and the way I fed it through is through this rubber boot. This is the secret to a clean install in your Subaru. Your harness with your connector sits outside and it goes through there. This is the boot you need to find. Let me repeat, the cleanest way to install lights onto your Subaru is to get it through that boot. What I did is I cut a little X with an X-Acto knife or a box cutter, little X. I zip tied, long white zip tie, to the end of the connector, and I shoved that through the little hole that I made through that boot. Found it on the back side and pulled it through. Now this is your setup once it's closed. Ta-da! You now have little spotting lights, ditch lights, hooked up to your Subaru. Okay, so super clean on the exterior. Let me show you guys the interior part of it, where you can put your rocker switch in the, I'm telling you, the cleanest way you can freaking do it. I'm super pumped when I found this little hole. Let me show you too. In my interior, there are no weird rocker switches just missing out. It looks completely stock in here in my normal form. But below here is my rocker switch. Look at that. Boom. Little hidden pocket light. There's, see that? How cool that is? So on your driver's side, right underneath your adjustment lever, there is a perfect little cutout for that rocker switch. Okay, that rocker switch, I didn't have to drill a hole, so no holes were driven, no holes were drilled. Everything ran through the firewall. It comes out right by your foot pedal, and this rocker switch is where it terminates. Now when you switch that on, boom, it lights up, and I've got those lights. That's how simple and clean that is. Here's our little night test. Are you guys ready? This is lights off. There's my neighbor driving by. This is lights off, regular, high beam, and my lights. You see that? So let's go high beam off, light off, high beam off. So just the spots, or just the ditch lights, my regular lights, high beam. See how full everything is now? All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you like this type of content, hit subscribe. Really appreciate all the feedback and comments I've been getting lately. Let me know at the bottom. Is there a better way to do this setup? I'd love to know. Well, thank you guys again, and stay tuned for the next episode. See ya.